You like pythons?
Yes, I do.
What is the reason for you and Michael? You have a
Well,
sort of
it's
obsession
not just
with animals.
it's not
Why?
just us. We grew up with snakes all our lives, so that's basically why I guess we like them. A lot of people find it unusual to have them.
These snakes weren't members of the family, were they?
They were around the house all the time.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, what animals have you left behind apart from your snake?
Well, we've had all kinds of animals: llamas, swans, muffalon sheep, all kinds. But the snake is basically, they're nice creatures. A lot of people don't think so, but they are.
Yeah, there is a rule that you never appear on television with children or animals, so that we can talk a little more seriously.
Would you like me to take them away?
Well, yeah,
Can you take
there's
them
a
away
chap
for,
over here.
for a second? Great.
Yeah, welcome on the show, sir. Thank you. Thank you for coming and bringing the snake. Very nice. Yeah. The autobiography, the pets are among one of the few light moments in the autobiography, and it's created enormous waves, of course, all over America and now here. It's a harrowing story of your family. Why did you decide to write it?
Because I felt it was necessary, something that needed to be done. I think child abuse is really a major issue in America. I'm not so sure about here in Europe and
yes,
Britain.
people have been reported, Roseanne Barr among them, and yourself standing up and saying they were abused as children. Were you sexually abused as a child?
Yes, sexually abused, physical and mentally as well. It went on in our family all the time. And the sad part about it all is that no one really knew about it because we always had to smile for the cameras whenever we were on television or taking pictures and pretend like we were this loving, perfect family. However, at home it was quite different for us. And you can't live your life with this in your system. Eventually you have to get it out of your system. And the time was right for me to do that. It takes a lot of courage and it takes time. And you have to feel that it's right for you. And I just want to say to all the children or people that are out there that have been abused, all the victims, please, you got to speak up and start telling people. Because if you don't, you won't help yourself. You're not curing yourself at all.
Well, it's not an appropriate time of the evening, I'm afraid, to talk about the nature of the sexual abuse. But your father physically attacked you, abused you, frightened you?
With everybody in the family. It wasn't just me. He would hold guns to our heads and pull the trigger constantly. He would strike matches to our toes and let them burn while we were asleep, and that would wake us up, and he would laugh when he would do these things. He found them very funny.
Did you never feel like running to somebody for help before now? That went on a long time ago.
No, but that went on until I left home. My father never stopped hitting my brothers. I must admit, I was beaten once in my life, and I vowed I'd never be beaten again, but the sexual abuse, of course, went on, and the verbal abuse, that emotional.
You could have run away from home.
Well, yes, I did try to leave several times, but of course you have your mother there talking and saying you can't leave, people know who you are, and they're going to kidnap you and all these different
But did your
things.
mother support your father in this, or did she try to give you any relief, or did she try and stop him?
It's really difficult to say. I would like to think that she didn't support him. However, when my sister Rebe was sexually abused, we slept in the same bed. And my mother would say to my father, "Joe, not tonight, leave her alone, let her rest. Not tonight, Joe." And Rebe would say, "Mother, please go get him help. He needs help." And my mother wouldn't. So Rebe left home at a young girl. She left to live with another family.
Was that one of the reasons why you posed semi-nude for Playboy? Was that a sort of move to rebel against the family?
Yes. It's interesting because I've had quite a few interviews today, and it's ironic how most people, I guess, put the two together. It was to get back at my parents, to let them know that they can't control our lives and rule us and tell us what to do anymore.
How come they let you leave home in the first place?
But don't you think it's time?
Yeah, but if it was that tough,
It was very, very tough to leave home. I made several attempts to leave home. My bags were packed and everything, and my father, you have to know this person. He's a very strong and robust man who pushes you back. No, you're not going anywhere, and if you do, I'll find you and bring you right back here. And your mother saying, "Don't go, LaToya," and Janet saying, "It's not worth it, stay home, it's not worth it." But you can't go through this all your life.
And what's been your father's reaction to the revelations in the book?
I've spoken to him through the media, my mother and my father, and naturally they're denying it. However, I must tell you that my mother did write a book, and in her French version of the book, she does mention that my father abused us, and that he had second families and all these other terrible things. But her American edition, she omitted these things from her book.
How do you think these revelations are going to affect not the rest of the Jacksons or even Michael, whom indeed you don't criticize in the book, you seem to have a great deal of affection for. But how do you think it's going to affect your career? What, do you think that this is going to help your career? Or?
It's not a matter, Terry, of helping my career. It's to help other people, other victims who have been abused, to make them speak out. Because if I can speak out, coming from a well-known family like this, and people know that this family supposedly was so perfect, and all this went on in my family, we have the world to face when I speak out. They have nothing but their friends to face and their family. But we have to face the world with this issue. So don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. It's not your fault. We live with this guilt, feeling that it's our fault all this time, and that's what I did for years and years.
Well, I hope it will help. Certainly we all know the amount of child abuse that there is. Thank you for coming on.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
LaToya.